Think about the not hundreds, but maybe thousands of people that you saw come and fall by the wayside. But what is it about you? What is it about what is it about any of us who got involved in that industry and not just, went along just to get along, actually went at it, improved at it, and sold our way either into other businesses, other industries, or into levels of leadership at the store. And I studied for 342 people. And even in my own life, and you may relate to this, 90% of them had a drastic or a dramatic life-changing situation, either when they were being brought up or it happened when they were adults. Like I know for myself, it was being evicted at the age of 24 with a wife and 3 children. That was mind-blowing. I mean, that was life-changing. Everything I did before that, I realized at that moment, this was like rock bottom. And, it was time for me to fall in line. Other people, it was dramatic upbringing. Maybe they grew up poor. Maybe they grew up in an abusive family. Maybe they were always told that they would never amount to anything, but it's something that just touches your soul. And you say, you know what? Regardless, like nothing but death will keep me from it. And you develop this hunger for one to absorb information. Because let's think about it. That's the game changer. What separates you as the general manager, managing partner, owner of the dealership from the porter, the green pea, the service advisor is information. All are human beings, all came into this world the exact same way, but yet all don't experience the exact same result. In the real life, it is all about the information. And so how do we get our salespeople in today's culture where, there's a study that was done in the 80s, the average attention span was 20 minutes. Now, in present day, the average attention span is 8 seconds. So when it comes to inspiring, and we're not just talking about millennials, there are people, I'm 45 years old, and there are people that are within my age bracket and even older who struggle with being able to maintain attention long enough to absorb information. Or people tend to believe that when you're learning information to get better, it's got to be fun and it's exciting, and it's quite the opposite. As a matter of fact, it literally is, when people call it a sacrifice, that's how it can be perceived as negatively. When in reality, it's an investment, and it's what I call sweat equity, where just based off, history and just living and watching, that if you absorb this information and the more quality information that you absorb, ultimately, it improves one's skill set. It improves one's confidence. And with an improved skill set and improved confidence, those are the combinations. And with opportunity, that's the combination for succeeding in any industry, any industry. But at the dealership, how do we do it when most people didn't have a desire to work at the store? They only took the job because the dealership is one place that hires way more often than any other one. They know they're going to get some type of a guaranteed check, but the whole time they're looking for that quote unquote real hourly wage job, despite the fact that they can give themselves a pay raise anytime they feel like it doing this. So how do you inspire that person who didn't want to do it, who's really just being an opportunist in a lot of cases, before they cost you money, lose you deals, and worse than anything else, bring that negative energy into your dealership? So what do? How do we inspire this person? Number one is acknowledging that we are in the instant reward and gratification era. And so one thing you want to do is figure out ways that you can reward your team members instantly for things well done. And it's not always about selling 15 or 20 units. Let's say if there's somebody who you've seen them out getting in front of customers, making more of an effort on a daily basis. Acknowledge that. And so first, you want to instantly reward. Number two, you want to do public acknowledgments. Giving somebody an attaboy or an attagirl one-on-one is cool. Of course, that's a good thing. But doing it publicly, showing this person that you appreciate them, not just in private, but in front of other team members, it creates confidence. It's just like a parent. Think about a child. If there's one child that in privacy, the parents say, hey, listen, you're doing great. We're proud of you, yada, yada. do this one-on-one. They do that in private. But with the other children, every time they do something, they're singing them around in front of company. They're bragging to all their friends and family members about how well they're doing. Even though they're acknowledging this other child in private, that child craves for that public attention. And we are nothing more than children in adult bodies, period. We crave from that type of public acknowledgement. Think about the main reason why people quit or leave a place of employment. Very rarely is it ever based off money. It's lack of appreciation and recognition, because there are people that have worked somewhere as opposed to going someplace else that they can make more money because they felt needed, because they feel appreciated. And then there's other people who are getting paid goo gobs of money, and the company can't keep people because they don't feel appreciated and they aren't ever recognized. That's the same thing in personal relationships. Really think about it. So we want to be able to instantly reward them for small things, because these small successes, these small wins stimulate another chink of confidence. And it's not like one huge jump from them being kind of internally negative and lacking confidence to just the next day being like that. No, it's small incremental improvements. And so, yes, as management, that will require a little bit more awareness. You should know who your team member is, not just, what they like to eat for lunch because y'all order out together, or, they got a wife and children. What's their name? What are their ages? What is their objective as a family unit? And as management, if you don't know what that is, then start learning that. Everybody's not motivated by money. Some people will go through a brick wall for you just if they know you genuinely care, and will end up making you more money than the person that is just money focused. Matter of fact, they'll go wherever the wind blows because it's all about the money. It's not about loyalty. So what type of culture are we breeding in the stores? So first is instant reward. Number two, it is public acknowledgement. And number three, it is giving them the ability to be able to grow and increase their confidence. Now, how do you do that? Through enhanced learning. One thing that I can give you that's really simple, you can do at your store immediately. You want to help your team members extend and enhance their ability to focus or concentrate for a time limit. Now, how do you leverage instant reward, public acknowledgement, and growth and confidence being able to do this? Number one, management. You should pick out a video, either some type of sales skill building, motivation, development of some kind, between 5 and 10 minutes. And if you have a daily sales meeting, every sales meeting should begin with this video. Every rep should have a piece of paper and a pen. Matter of fact, if anybody's having meetings and everybody doesn't have something to write with or write on, what are we really doing? And so they watch it. Now, immediately after, you already have some prepared questions because you watched it. And you want to have these questions be able to pull out feelings that they got. What did you learn from this? What did you get? And no one can repeat what someone else said. Have them write it out and then go around the room. Let them all hear the other ones, the way other people perceive it. Some might say, wow, I saw it that way. Some might say, whoa, how did they see it that way? Oh, my goodness. And it helps them realize, yeah, perception can be an individual's reality. So we have to focus on understanding, where the people coming from to be able to find common ground, which will ultimately help them with their customers. Number two, you're helping them increase their ability to focus, which will help their conversation and communication with guests. You know how many salespeople nowadays tuned out, forget what the person said, have to ask them 2 and 3 times, not realizing how much that's negatively impacting them and your store. That's why consumer loyalty and trust has dropped, because they don't feel like they care. Think about when we got started. I'm 45. If you're 35 years old or older, you remember back in the day when we started, there was real training. There was real sales training. I mean, in the study that we did with those 342, what we found? Within the first 2 weeks, sales reps that had consistent sales training for 2 weeks, not the modules where they set out, no, real life role play sales training for a minimum of 2 weeks, outperformed their counterparts who didn't. We're talking about that, outperformed big time. Now, there was a smaller number, but they outperformed. So what that means is that within the first 2 weeks of a sales rep starting at your store, it's kind of like a baby when they're growing up. And between birth and maybe about 3 or 4 years old are those most informative years. For salespeople starting at your store who had no desire to do this, have never maybe been pushed ever, anything longer than a minute, video-wise, and forget about reading, but that's out the window for a lot of people. I'm not saying all, but for a lot. How do you take all of those things and literally flip them in this person? In that first 2 weeks is the time frame you got. If they haven't bought in and built confidence in that first 2 weeks, yeah, every blue moon you'll have one that ends up being a success story. But the law of physics also says that an elephant can hang by its tail from a daisy off of a cliff. Now, is it possible? Yes. But is it probable? No. So reps that are trained consistently, and think about when we started. I know that I went through a multiple week training program when I started. And a lot of folks that come from the era that I come from, we had that. We weren't even allowed to even take it up until we had finished certain things and role played. Remember that? And then if you really think about customer loyalty, think about how the reps back then, I mean, when we were coming up, we had multiple people in our stores that were 20 or better producers, even some that was doing 30. Some people worked with folks that was doing 40 a month. Well, these folks just set appointments because they had such a referral system through the customer loyalty. Think about how rare that is nowadays. And it all boils down to confidence in the people that we bring in, building that confidence, developing their skills, and acknowledging the fact if we're waiting on them to be self-motivated, to learn, you have to realize you are a unique and common breed. That's why you achieved what you achieved and got to where you are. But other people, they have that defined spark, but they just have to be ignited. And so we have to help them help themselves. And those are just few things that you can, I got a couple other ones. You can do a demo contest every month with a 10-point scoring system where everybody can hit the max score and get recognized for that. So you got two things. You got people that are competing in this demo contest to get a high score to win a prize. But guess what they're also doing? Learning. Gaining knowledge and information about the product, which will help increase their confidence next time they're engaging with a customer. But a lot of times they'll be doing it for the gift card or getting an hour off work. So you're helping them help themselves in spite of they may or may not even realize it. All right. But I went a little bit longer than what I wanted to. Hey, listen, Brian Maxwell, I look forward to seeing you at the dealership. I hope you're having a bang out closeout, to the year. And, if you are considering sales training, or if you need good people in your dealership, man, treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. Let's have a conversation and explore. I may be able to help you. Other than that, again, thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you at the dealership. Remember to like, comment, share this video if you can. It really, really helps out. Appreciate it. Over and out.
Did you know, according to a recent Forbes article, 58% of customers will pay more for better customer service? As the automotive market gets more competitive, sales training is more important than ever. This is where Brian Maxwell comes in. For over a decade, Brian Maxwell provides sales training for some of the biggest dealer groups in the country, and for manufacturers such as Ford, Chevy, Toyota, and many others. Brian has also trained over 10,000 automotive sales associates worldwide. Brian Maxwell's value is in the fact that he provides real-world, simple-to-follow, and easy-to-apply sales training to your team. His training helps sales teams convert consistently with higher profit margins and how to leverage social media to generate qualified leads. He does this by applying all aspects of learning, utilizing classroom training, role-playing, and one-on-one evaluations. This allows your sales teams to hear, see, and apply selling methods that flat-out work. Knowing that results and profits are the only way to establish a long-term working relationship, Brian Maxwell's focus is results and profit-orientated. So, if you'd like to supercharge the customer experience, your sales team's production, and your bottom line, schedule a time for a consultation with Brian Maxwell today.